Today, we're talking about a place you might not think about until you drive somewhere.
And when you reach your destination, it's a place that's a necessity. If you haven't guessed yet, we're talking about parking lots.
What some people don't realize, though, is that before some of these places were parking lots, there were some notable buildings there.
Architectural historian Nancy Ritchie had a chance to walk around Columbus with Randy Black, a historic preservation consultant at Columbus Landmarks, to uncover the stories behind some of our downtown parking lots.
We are here today to talk about parking lots. We have a lot of them in downtown Columbus, fewer than we used to have, but we still have an awful lot of parking lots that at one time had historic buildings on them. And we thought it would be interesting to start at this parking lot today because this was a pretty significant loss for the city. I don't know if you remember this building or not.
I started with the city in 1993, which I believe is the same year that this incident
January
happened.
of '93, right.
And I'm not really familiar with the physical building, so I'd like to talk about it because this is an example of loss that we've seen turned into parking lots over and over again.
Yes. It was a pre-Civil War Italian villa, so you can imagine it sat in the middle of the lot. It had a big square tower. The entrance, although it was painted black, was a double entrance, round arched, all carved stone.
It complemented the buildings to the
Very
east.
much so. It was the entrance into the East Town Street Historic District. So it was a cornerstone building. This was a neighborhood where fairly well-off people lived. The building right next door was the Fred Lazarus house, and 2 doors down was Ralph Lazarus. So anybody who grew up in Columbus knows F&R Lazarus was Fred and Ralph. There really was an effort to try to preserve it. And our disclaimer is my husband Jeff and I were part of that with the idea of preserving the historic building, but also building new condominiums facing the library park, which was a combination of old and new, but it made the economics work. And we were really trying to work with the owners and their attorney and others, but time ran out. And they were able to tear down the building, and they did. One of the things about parking lots is they're businesses, but they're required to make any urban design contribution to the city. And there's no reason why this couldn't have been beautifully landscaped or designed in a way that it isn't just this. And it was torn down 30 years ago. So we've had this for 30 years.
And since that time, I think there's been a lot of movement in terms of if there's a parking lot requested in a historic district of any of the commissions, landscaping is going to be an important component of that.
Yes, it has to be. The good thing that came out of this is the Downtown Commission was formed.
Yes.
And part of the impetus was to not just have buildings torn down for parking, that there be a review process, and if a building's torn down, they weren't allowed to tear down that building until they had a commitment to build something on the site. So we'll continue to have buildings, not just parking lots. Can you think of others that were big losses that maybe led to some kind of change in policy?
In the short north, on the Victorian Village side, a hotel was lost there. It took a long time to refill that lot. There was a lot of discussion about whether that should happen. Also, there was another really important one, the Seneca. In fact, I attended several environmental court hearings on the alley by the Seneca.
Yeah.
It was very close to being lost. And the reason it didn't was because of the Downtown Commission and that it was individually listed.
And it's been rehabbed in its apartments.
So it's an example of
yeah.
success.
Yeah.
Once a building's gone, it's gone forever. And you can't adaptively reuse a vacant lot until you rebuild.
And there are good economic incentives now to help people rehabilitate. So with a lot of imagination, a lot of creativity, we're seeing developers around Columbus do amazing work.
We are.
Especially just recently. And I know you were involved with the municipal power plant, the East Market that was ready for demolition, could have been a parking lot in that area. One of the ones that comes to mind for me is in the Brewery District. The King Gambrinus is still there, but the August Wagner Brewery. Now, it's not exactly a parking lot, it's a little green space, but I remember when that building was torn down.
There are examples of cities that have approached this, the vacant properties in a little different way. As I think of Pittsburgh, and I also think of Cincinnati, especially over the Rhine.
Yes.
Many, many buildings were sort of mothballed and kept. And the 20-year ago trip that I took, it looked pretty rough,
It was very rough.
but it's grown exponentially now. It's a place to be. And I would argue that one of the attractions is in that city and in Pittsburgh and other cities, one of the attractions to folks is the buildings are still there.
Yes.
In our case, we've lost an awful lot of buildings. It raises another opportunity for infill, but loss of historic buildings is loss of character in
Yeah,
my mind.
we're not creating pre-Civil War buildings anymore.
No. This has been really wonderful to talk about this here in the East Town Street Historic District, but I've got a site not far from here that I'd like to share with you and see what your thoughts are.
Great. Love
Really-
to see it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Nancy, we are at Main and South High Street. And this is another example of a parking lot where buildings have been taken down and there's no landscaping here. This is also the location of the former Franklin Federal Savings and Loan Building, which was on the corner here of High and Main. And also the most recent demolition was the Main Street Bar. And interestingly enough, the Main Street Bar building was torn down just recently. And down the block here, about a half a block away, there's a building very similar to that it was rehabbed, saved, with two new builds
Yes.
beside it.
That's a great example of combining old and new. And that's really what we're dealing with in this city. We have lots of pockets of parking lots with one or two historic buildings standing alone. And the wonderful, exciting, creative challenge is how do you incorporate those into a new development? And to me, the most exciting thing that can happen is a bit of the past and a bit of the present and future. It takes a little more work, sure. It takes a little more creativity, but it can be done.
After having talked about these two recent sites and all the vacant lots all over town, I thought it might be important for us to sort of consider the future use of cars, the future need for parking, and what changes do you see maybe happening, and I can talk about that as well.
People are going to be driving cars, we recognize that. Is this the highest and best use and the best way to provide parking? If you're building in a downtown area, infrastructure means structured parking garages, multi-level parking garages, not on the main streets, but kind of built into the system so that people can park, like the one, that went with City Center that's right there. It's a big parking garage, but imagine how much surface parking would be needed.
I think that there are two points that I always like to point out to commissions and to clients. The design of structured parking doesn't have to be just a cement building that looks like a parking garage.
Right.
There are all kinds of
Right.
design solutions for that fit in with the neighborhood.
Exactly.
That's the first piece. Second piece that I've talked to developers about, and sometimes they push back on this, but I think there needs to be a lot of consideration about when parking levels are being added to a building, a new build, or a parking garage standalone. Being able to convert that to another use outside of parking is something that successful cities are looking at now.
To give you an example, right behind us, the Julian,
Yep.
it's a former industrial building. They designed the parking inside the industrial building, but the way they designed the parking, if that parking isn't needed, they can convert it to more apartments.
Thanks a lot, Nancy. This has been wonderful. Both sites were great to visit, and
Good conversation.
really good conversation, good analysis.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it.
Thanks.
At any point in time, a city's landscape can be defined by its distinctive architecture. But what stands in a particular spot can also change throughout the decades as cities develop.
Architectural historian Jeff Darby visited one of the architects for the Christopher Inn to talk about what stood there before and how evolving community needs impact spaces.
We're in downtown Columbus, East Broad Street, and we're going to a site that sort of tells us how the city evolves over time. This is where people moved when the city got more prosperous and began to grow. They moved from downtown out to East Broad Street and built some spectacular homes, one of which was the Kelly Mansion, built there early in the 19th century. Kelly was a very important figure in Columbus and Ohio history. And it came down in the early 1960s for construction of the Christopher Inn. We'll be meeting with Clyde Gosnell, who was lead architect for the Christopher Inn project and who was very aware of the importance of the Kelly Mansion, and his comments on it I think will be pretty interesting to hear. Hello, Clyde.
Well, hello, Jeff.
How are you? Good
Fancy meeting you.
Here on East Broad Street.
How about that?
Historic East Broad Street.
300 East Broad.
300 East Broad.
Yeah.
Well, and we're out at a historic part of town. Now, early on, people started to move out here after they came off Capitol Square when it started to get too commercial.
Right.
And one of the houses built was Alfred Kelly's
Yes, his mansion right on this site.
at
Yes.
300 East Broad.
He built that in the early 1800s.
And he was an important figure historically.
Very important figure historically. He was a prominent citizen in terms of supporting the community, growing the community, and he also funded state of Ohio for when they were about going bankrupt.
Wow, there probably isn't an individual who would do that
No,
today.
that's-
So
that-
Kelly was
that's
really
unheard of.
important. He had a wonderful house.
Right.
But that was a landmark, but it was replaced by another landmark, and that's where you came in.
That's where I came in, and I tried to, my client was the Josephine Pontifical College.
Okay.
Monsignor Smink was the business manager. I worked with him. He said to me, I'd like to build a high-rise motor hotel. And I said, well, all right. He said, well, I have a property at 300 East Broad Street. So I walked up here and looked at this site, and lo and behold, here's the Kelly Mansion that I remembered as a child.
And I never saw that. It was gone by the time I came to Columbus.
Yeah.
It was built of stone.
This was in 1961.
Okay.
So I came down and looked at the site, and I paced off the front here. It's 149 feet in width and 263 feet in depth. And I went home and compared that with my front yard, and it was just a little bit smaller.
And you had to cram a hotel onto that
And I
site.
said to Monsignor, you want to build a motor hotel on this site? First of all, I said, you can't do that. We have the Kelly Mansion. He said, oh, we're going to move it. At that time, I was a young person, so I took his word for what it was. If I had it do over again, I would have been more persistent and tried to save it, because in that same period, 1960s, I was played a major role in saving the Ohio Theater
Oh, of course.
with a lot of other prominent people. I had some knowledge in how to do that, and I know other people tried to save it, but it was really a serious blow to me, because they didn't move the building,
They removed it.
they tore it down.
Yeah. So one landmark went away, unfortunately,
Yes.
and never really got taken care of.
Right.
I understand pieces of it are kind of scattered around the state.
Right.
But then the Christopher Inn became a landmark in itself. Let's go deeper
Yeah,
into the
let's-
site.
let's
and
walk into
you
the
can
site,
talk more about
look
how
around.
it got developed.
Okay,
Lead
great.
the way. So this would have been a big site for a house, but for a hotel, not so big.
Well, Jeff, this is truly an emotional trip for me. It was 60 years ago, I stood here and tried to imagine a 140-room hotel on this little site about the size of my front yard.
that was a design challenge,
Oh,
wasn't it?
my word, my word. Now, Monsignor Smink I mentioned, was my client.
Yep.
And he was an incredible individual. He was a business manager, and he had a great vision for the Christopher Inn, which really impressed me. He had a couple of criteria that were quite significant. He wanted entrance and exit, vehicular entrance and exit on right here in Broad Street, very visible. And he wanted the guests to have direct access to all the facilities, their rooms, and also parking facilities for about 200
So
cars.
it was not a traditional downtown hotel, which typically didn't have
Not at
anything like
all.
parking, but it wasn't a suburban motel either. It was a hotel.
It was definitely a
but
hotel.
but the owners wanted it to be convenient for vehicular access, for coming by car and leaving by car.
I think Schmink actually had visions of competing with the Neal House.
Aha.
People think that the circular tower was preconceived. It was not. I studied vehicular entrance and exits from the site, and I determined that the most efficient way was a ramp, circular ramp up and down. So that's really formed the criteria for the tower.
Well, that was the thing about the hotel. It was round, which was really unheard of in hotel design,
It was.
as far as I know. And I know people probably thought, oh, well, yeah, he saw the Marina City in Chicago, so of course he's going to do a round tower. But you were before the Marina City.
Yeah, that was just a couple years later, Marine Tower.
So
in
they were
Chicago.
inspired by you.
Right. One of the requirements that he had was that I want this hotel completed in all regards, right up to the china, the silverware, the matchbooks, and I want you to hand me a key when it's completed.
So there was nothing left to chance. It was a complete design, as you say, down to the matchbooks, the keychain.
And
all of
as a
that.
matter of fact, here's my design for the matchbooks.
Well, let's see here. The Christopher Inn. Yeah, there it is. Well, it was a true landmark, and it lasted until, what, the late 1980s, is that right?
That's correct. That's right.
And we're standing on the site, and the
Right.
site hasn't been fully developed. It's a parking lot.
Sadly, it is. Now, in retrospect, if the Kelly Mansion was still here, you know, that could be a fabulous museum for the city of Columbus.
It really could.
And the Christopher Inn could have been placed anywhere else on Broad Street.
Yeah, it really could have. There were lots of locations.
There were a lot of sites available in that time.
It shows you how decisions by individuals often have
Yeah.
a big role in shaping the city.
I compliment you for wanting to share this historic legacy of these two lost landmarks. I'm kind of shedding internally a tear because I think I could have been more assertive to help preserve these facilities.
Well, I know what it's like to lose important landmarks, but fortunately we have a lot of successes too. And thank you for coming out and talking about this and helping us understand how the city changes over time. Thanks so much.
Yeah, again, I compliment you.
Thank you.
For what you do.
You know, not all parking lots are just for parking. Some locations have found creative ways to use their spaces for multiple purposes.
Case in point is the Biological Sciences Greenhouse, which sits on top of The Ohio State University's 12th Avenue parking garage.
It's a highly creative use of space. Producer Leticia Wiggins headed over there to check it out.
Emily and David, it's wonderful to see you both today. And I want to start by asking, where are we right now?
We are currently on the medical campus at OSU, and we are on the 7th floor of the 12th Avenue parking garage, which is the original visitor parking for the hospital, or the main hospital.
It's got to be a surprise that this is even up here sometimes when people come through.
For sure. Not many people know we're up here, and a lot of people have walked either up and down 12th Avenue or John Herrick Drive and totally missed us way up here in the top. So it is definitely a hidden gem.
What is both of your relationship with this space? What kind of work are you doing here?
We do outreach. So we have people from the community that come in and view the facility, anywhere from like preschool, daycares, all the way through like elder hostel groups. Second, we do some research up here as well. So we have some greenhouses that have research in them right now, as well as some growth chambers. And then third, we are a living laboratory for a lot of our classes here at OSU. Anything from art classes to biology classes, ecology classes, they come up here and use the facility to supplement their learning. Anywhere between 3,000 and 4,000 students would end up coming up and using the facility.
So, how long has this been here? In this space, I guess.
Well, the greenhouses have been on top of the parking garage since 1993. Originally, they were down on street level behind what was the old Botany and Zoology building. But as they built the James Cancer Center, they started blocking sunlight, and plants need sunlight to grow. So
Yeah.
their solution was to add 3 levels to the parking garage and put us up on top.
Ohio State has had greenhouses for a really long time. I don't know if a lot of people know that.
OSU is a land-grant university, so our mission is based around agriculture, and greenhouses are a big part of that story. But we are set up a little more for education. So like in our cactus and succulent room, we got everything separated by species. So you get to go through and see all the aloes or all the agaves all at one time, more for educational purposes, as opposed to just ornamental purposes, which is typical conservatories.
Wow, it really opens up in here. This is incredible. Oh my gosh. Whoa.
We got a variety of interesting plants in this space. One of the plants we're kind of known for is the Amorphophallus titanum, also known as the corpse plant or the stink flower. It's the world's largest flower. And we've had several events where people come up and viewed it. This is what we consider its vegetative growth stage. So this guy will come up and be in this vegetative state for some period of time, and then it'll die back completely. And then whenever it's time for it to flower, which it takes quite a few years to get the corm up large enough to flower, it'll actually shoot a large flower out that opens up to about 4.5, 5 feet around. Unfortunately, the thing is pollinated by dung beetles and other insects of the like, so it does smell a little bit like rotting meat or feces. It's currently a threatened species, and it's native to the Sumatra region of Indonesia. It does not tolerate human disturbance very well, and many of the oil palm plantations are really starting to drive down its overall numbers in the wild. Collections like ours are important for potential repopulation of extinct species.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how stinky is it? 10 being stinkiest.
It's like an 11. It's bad. It really smells foul.
Well, I see we have orchids, bird of paradise. What else do we have to show folks?
Well, we have a nice collection of economic plants on the other side of the conservatory if you want to check those out.
Let's do it.
Let's take a look.
This plant right here, this is a coffee tree. Usually, at least once a year, it'll flower and produce fruit. And as the fruit ripens, it turns a nice red color. And inside are the seeds. But it's hard for a lot of kids to correlate the fact that those seeds are actually what we call coffee beans. So to be able to see them, literally attached to the tree and take them off and kind of examine them in their hands is something that a lot of kids find kind of neat.
That's like a really good thing that you all are doing with connecting the dots there. But this tree is beautiful. Can you tell me a little bit about this center stage tree? What's
this
the story?
is probably our largest tree in the collection, our largest plant in the collection. The ceilings are roughly 35 feet in that neighborhood, so you can tell it's pretty big. And it's been on campus a little over 100 years. We actually have some photos of when they built the greenhouse, of them craning it up over the sidewalls and then putting the roof on after. And it's a cycad, which is one of the things that we also collect several species of. Again, it could be something useful for repopulating an extinct species.
Thinking about the world and maintaining a lot of the ecological systems, there's like a really interesting role that greenhouses can play that maybe people might not know about.
Yeah, we're essentially like a zoo for plants, It's preservation of genetics in a sense.
What would be one thing that you would hope students and people visiting would take away from this space?
Just the overall diversity that the plant world has. All these plants, they reproduce in some form or the other, whether it be through spores or fruits or cones or that sort of thing. But to have all those different examples in a small area, like some of the elementary school kids that come up and be like, my grandma has that plant, you know, so there's some recognition behind it outside of our walls.
Yeah, for me, I really appreciate the students having live samples of specimens and looking at different plant characteristics as opposed to looking at them on a PowerPoint presentation. I think they're going to walk away with, you know, better experience.
Thanks for being with us, and remember you can catch all our episodes on columbusneighborhoods.org. Plus, see our stories on the WOSU mobile app.
And you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We'll see you back here next week on Columbus Neighborhoods.
When I found myself, I was so